Hi, my name is Richard Soriano, and today we're going to go through this cool component that I'm using. I built it in React, in Tailwind. I use the useState hook, and essentially it's a mini shopping cart, and I use it to bag books. So as you can see, here's my list of bags. So you got the name, the category, and books. So this part is, if you wanted to create a bag, you'd have a name and you'd attach a category and you would add the books. So let's walk through this. So as you can see at the top, there are three parts to this modal. There is the progress bar. And as we step through it, it is underlined, okay? Then the second part is the button. So when you click on the button, it increments the state and it displays it appropriately. So if you see next, then the next one is previous and next, and obviously save, so you can save the bag. And then this last one is essentially the dynamic component. So we will have different parts. So like bag A, real original bag A. And then this next, this one you attach a category. So a bag has a category. So you can add like art and photography. Click next, then you can add books. So you can add dark matters, this, and when you click on them, it unselects it. And then obviously when you click save, it will save the bag. So let's go through this. Okay, so first, let's go over a couple of data structures that I use. I have books, and that is essentially like title, dark matters, author. Let's just say me for a second. But this is a great book by Star Trek, if you ever get a chance. Category, you can have more than one category. Let's just say science fiction. So that is essentially what the data structure of books is. It should be book. Then you have the category of bag. So what is in bag? Bag has a name, default empty string, category. Let's say it's undefined for now, and books, which is essentially an array of books. So that's what those data structures are. Okay, so when I first create my function, let's call this bag form. I always like to know, what am I passing and what am I returning? In this case, we pass books and we'll pass save bag. What I like to do is I like to add the default values. So that way they don't blow up when I use them. Okay, so books is an array and save bags is a function that I pass. So what am I going to return? Let's start with the first part of that component, which is the that progress bar. So essentially what that is just an unordered list, right? That's essentially what that is. And let's create the first data structure, which is steps. And steps is an array of objects. Let me take this out first. Okay. Okay. So what's cool about like the map function is that you can use it also as an index. So essentially we're going through the array and we are going to display the label. Click on this, let's display the label. Okay, so you have name, bag attach, category. Let's make this a little bit cleaner. So we're going to do a flex on it so that it's across. And we are going to use space. And we're going to put a margin at the bottom. That's going to help it by, let's see. Oh, I forgot the align. Align. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the number next to it. So that way it's a little easier to read. And there we go. So you have name, bag, attached category, and books. So that's the beginning of our progress bar. Next thing we need are buttons. So let's write a button. So you have button, and you're going to have 3 buttons. You're going to have a previous, save, and previous, next, and save. This thing is going to complain. So we'll put a div tag around this. We are going to style our button to blue with white text. And we'll add a little border to it. Make it a little round and add some padding. We'll put some padding on the side. padding on the bottom. Let's see what that looks like. Yay. Button looks a little small though. Last name, BG 500. Text white, border, rounded small. PX6. 1. It's a little funny. Let me sure. So PX6. PY4. Okay, much better. Okay. So we need 2 more buttons. Next, and a 7. Also, when we click on it, we also want to increment the steps. So we're going to have to use hook to keep track of what state we're in. So always put ours up at the top. So current step. We're going to say it's current step and set current step. So current step, set current step, and its default will be 0. Don't forget to import it. And let's see. On click, what are we going to do on click? Okay. So when we click it, we are going to set current state. Okay. Now this is the tricky part where you have to keep the previous state and you want to increment it or decrement it accordingly. So you use the prev, and in the previous, you want to subtract. Yeah. And then in your next one, you want to add. Okay? Set current state. Let me think about this 1 second. So yeah, so you want the getter and the setter, set current step. Oh, that's one. Set current step. So if we want to inspect this, look at my component, and you can see where we're at. So when you look at the state and you click on it, it increments. When you decrement it, it decrements. Excellent. Then you want to, let's show the button. Why don't we do this? As we click it, let's underline this. Class name. Okay. So the way underline works is we're going to have a literal string, and it will be evaluated depending on what current step I'm at. So if I am at let's see. So what we're going to do is so we're going to evaluate current step. If the current step is equal to the index, then we will underline it. Else, we won't do anything. So if the current step is equal to the index, then we will underline it. Else, we don't do anything. Okay. See if this works. Yes, it works. Let's close this. So as you can see, the previous button and the next button increment and decrement current step. So, and then the label appears accordingly. Now what we want to do next is we want to display the buttons if they need to be displayed. Also, let's refactor these buttons because they look like they can use some refactoring. So when I create a function, I like, again, what am I passing and what am I returning? So in this case, I will pass the children. And then the next thing I will pass is the enclave. And let's just say that that is the function by default. So here we go. Take that. Pass that. Place previous with children. And then with onClick, you just call onClick. Let's see if I pull this thing out. Is that the right one? No. Button, button. Don't need that anymore. Fix that up. Don't need that anymore. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if this works. So I have the class name already set. I have onClick, which is path. The children will be displayed. And it's still working. Yay. Just to make sure. Usually I make sure that it's working. Yay. Okay. Second step I want to do is display it according to each step. So if the current step is not the beginning, current step is greater than 0, then you want to display it, right? The second part is the next button. As long as you're not at the end, you can display the next button. So you're going to use current step, and it's not at the end. How do you know you're at the end? Because you're going to go through the, you're going to get the length, which is 3, and then you're going to subtract 1. So that way you know you're not at the end. Then you're going to display the next button. And just to save a little bit of time, so then display the button, else display the save button. So put this in here, and then put the save button in here. Voila. Okay, so next, previous and next, and then save. So previous, save, and I'm at the add. I'm at the end. I hit previous, that, bag, yay, it works. So the last step is I want to dynamically show the component. So you take steps, this data structure, and I'm going to show you the component. So we'll just put this temporarily. We'll call this name. Okay. And then we'll put one for category. And we will put one for bag books. There you go. Oh wait, what happened? There you go. Okay, but the component is not showing. Huh. So we will show the component just below the buttons. So we are going to do steps, current step. We are going to show the component. Okay, so there's the component name, categories, and books. Name, categories, and books. So that is essentially how it works. So in here, later on, I'm going to replace this with the books. So just to reiterate again, this is bagging books. It uses the useState hook. It's made out of React, a little bit of Tailwind, and then the 3 parts to it, which is the progress bar. You will have the buttons, which when clicked, they will change the step. They will increment the step or decrement the step. And they will show the appropriate button depending on where we are in the bar. And as we progress, we will underline each phase. And then at the bottom is the category, which gets a little complicated because you're going to have categories, which is a drop-down list. You're going to have a bag of books, again, multi-select list, and name the bag, which is just a text input. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you very much.